Hello, all Tower fans, and welcome to another episode of Spoilercast. For this episode, Matt is joined by Mike and Jareth, as well as guest host Alex. Kritix Choyce and Josh from Agents of S.I.R. also stop by for the fun. Matt and crew will plunge down the rabbit hole that is AI, or artificial intelligence. Why the hell is it so freaky? And why does it usually end in utter failure and disaster for the race of mankind? And are there actually examples where humans can coexist with our superior creations? Listen in and find out. Now, heading over to the calendar, coming up is Free Comic Book Day. This is a national event, and you want to check out your local comic book store or library. Hopefully they're participating. This is taking place on the first Saturday, which would be May 2nd. Check it out. And speaking of comic books, Age of Ultron is launching this week, which means coming up is Excelsior. Spoilercast, along with Agents of S.I.R., will be spending 2 hours going over some Marvel. We toss in a little bit of Marvel and wrap up with, well, more Marvel, because it's Marvel. That's set to drop in your ear holes coming May 20th. We're taking 1 week off so we can all honor our lovely mothers. Episode 1 of Agents of S.I.R. is now in the books, ladies and gents, so look for Episode 2 to drop the last Wednesday, where Kritix Choyce and Josh will now hone in their focus since they have now wrapped up many of the things they're going to talk about in the first episode, and hone in now on the Arrowverse closing for this season. They'll be able to wrap you up on what's taking place with Arrow and Flash. Now, podcasts by All Tower Media are brought to you by Spellbook.com, where you can play amazing games on your mobile or PC with your friends. Be sure to check out The Infinite Black on your App Store or Spellbook.com today, as well as prepare yourself for their new game, Dire. Also, Ragnarok Rising by D.A. Roberts. Something has raised the dead, and thus ushering in Ragnarok, the end of the world. Wiley Grant, a correction officer from Springfield, backed by his friends and the Norse gods, must put the dead back in the ground or die trying. Check out Amazon.com today to get your copy. Finally, by Legendary Loot Designs. Have you ever wanted to own a replica of Link's sword? Hell, why not his boomerang? How about a ghost from Destiny? Maybe something out of your own mind. They design and sell various props, canvas prints, paintings, and custom decor marketed to us, the geeks. Search Legendary Loot Designs on Facebook or head to artpal.com/legendaryloot. Now perk up your ear holes, boys and girls, for another episode of Spoilercast, recorded by Hal in Spellbook Studios. Siri, play next episode.
Welcome to another edition of Spoilercast by All Tower Media. Tonight I have an entire room full of people. Not only am I going to be joined by Mike and Jareth. Mike, hi.
Hi. Kill your toaster with a shovel.
Before it gets you. I've got Jareth sitting down at the far end over here. Say hi, Jareth.
Hi, everybody.
Internets.
Hi, Internets.
Hi, Internets. I like that. I've got Mr. Alex sitting here with us. Alex is responsible for our intro music that we actually put at the beginning of every one of the shows. So, Alex, say hi. It's the first time joining us.
How's it going out there, everybody?
Furthermore, way out in the far-off lands of Ohio, I have one of our previous hosts that we've had numerous times, Josh Jones.
Hello, everybody.
And, Josh, would you care to introduce our other host with us this evening?
Sure. We've got Mr. Max Delgado, DJ Kritix Choyce, who's been kind of chomping at the bit to join us on one of our episodes, and is also hosting a secondary podcast with me called Agents of S.I.R., comics and TV stuff. So look forward to that.
Excellent.
Say hi, Max.
Hello there. Thanks for having me. It's going to be a good time.
Absolutely. And then, as normal, we have Dire Monkey operating master control for us here.
We're not worthy.
Crickets.
Indeed.
Great.
And if you had the math equation, you could figure out how cold it is based on
That's
that.
true.
cricket
I
sounds.
could. Yeah.
That sounds like a really complicated way to tell how cold it is outside.
It would just be easier to look at your phone, I'd imagine.
Just
so
stick your arm outside.
before the cell phone kills you. So tonight we are discussing AIs. You look like you're having a heart attack over there.
Oh, it's fine. It's the third one I've had today. I'll be all right.
Okay, it might be something to do with the fact you worked for like 24 hours straight the other morning.
Yeah.
So before we get into our AI portion of the episodes, where we're discussing such topics as
Robots that will kill you.
yes,
Robots that will take over civilization
Yes.
and take control of it.
Robots that will love you.
oh, okay, all right, I'm down with that. But before we get
I'm
to
okay with that.
before we get to that, you guys did recording for Agents of Sir earlier tonight. How was that?
Yeah. How'd that go?
It was awesome. I had a great time. Go ahead, Josh.
That's the small disconnect of not being in the studio, and I'm sure me and Max are a little jealous of that aspect. Not only are you guys getting to see each other, you're in the awesome Spellbook Studios.
Absolutely.
But we had a really good time. We kind of got to, the premise is me and Max pretty much every day get to kind of pass at work a little bit, and for about 15, 20 minutes, we just kind of geek out in front of everybody about comic book TV shows, and we figured, why the hell not just throw it down on a podcast and see what people think?
Yeah, exactly. It is fun to, meet up and talk about it at work, but why not have that conversation with a bunch of other nerds on the internet?
Yeah, absolutely. So how regularly are we going to be recording Agents of Sir?
Once a month.
Once a month?
Once a month.
Okay.
Once a month?
I feel like we're the Wonder Twins here.
Yeah. So on point for the evening. We'll do our normal introductions. Again, thank you very much for allowing us to be here at the Spellbook Studios. And you go over to spellbook.com. Make sure you're checking out their stuff, The Infinite Black, the upcoming game Dire. How's that coming along?
Coming along really good, actually. Our last episode of Spellcast, which is our company's Spellcast or podcast, we showed off some of the art assets and some of the models for the game, so we're coming along nicely. Should be having a playable in-office beta version within the month, so
awesome.
Hopefully out into the public within the next few months.
That'll be fantastic.
Yeah.
We Josh
I got to
and
be honest. I'm really excited for Dire. The Infinite Black School, I've checked it out, but space games just aren't ever really been my forte. I love RPGs, so come on, get it out.
Yeah.
Hey.
Trust me, I run around the office daily yelling at them to just give me the game to play. So I'm on board with you.
So Josh and I have been plugging away at the card game, and Mike and Jareth have been helping out. We actually had to sit down the other evening and work through some issues that we were having there. Got some card images. As a matter of fact, Al is actually going to be one of our card images.
Oh yeah.
He's on board with us. So we've been gathering up things, and that should be done pretty quick. I'm looking forward to it.
Is he the one that I used? One of the ones I used for 9mm.
Yeah, he's the one that you used in the 9mm image.
I thwhat used him for the chocolate dynamite card.
No, that was you. We used
yeah.
you in your purple. What was that? Weren't you in a Barca lounger?
Yeah,
with a suede.
Don't forget my bright
we're
pink
way
fedora.
off point. We're way off point. Okay, so back to.
But if you're gonna go off point, you have to mention the Barca Lounger.
Oh no, you do. Yeah. Okay. So on point for tonight, I think the most recent AI movie to be mentioned is Chappie. Which has anyone actually gone and seen this?
Nope.
I don't know. I started watching it, and honestly, when I first watched the trailer, I thought, man, this is going to be awesome. And then I went to watch it, and I honestly couldn't even finish it.
How long into it did you walk out?
I watched. Well,
come on.
Honestly, it
5
was
minutes?
like the first half hour.
Okay.
I was like, this is stupid.
I mean, at that point, like 30 minutes in, a movie's got to have won you over or not. At that point.
It's got to have a
Yeah.
bite at some point in time in there.
I completely didn't. I mean, like I said, I just had zero interest in it, and I don't know. from watching the preview, I thought, man, this is going to be pretty good, but it wasn't.
It had a feel to me just watching the trailer. And it might have something to do with who's made it. It reminded me a lot of what is the Alien movie?
District 9.
District 9.
Yeah, yeah.
District
Yeah.
9.
All of his movies are District 9.
I was about to say it's District 9, but robots.
Yeah, it has a very distinctive look and feel to it.
It very much does, and like I said, I kind of had an idea that it was based on the fact of who was making it, but at the same time, I was like, but I think all of us can agree that we can look at tonight Terminator, The Matrix. You have some ideas, Mike, about some talking points that we need to get into this evening. You care to share? See if we can get something flourishing from here.
I'll get to those in a second, but just for a moment, can we just look at the fact that with what we're talking about, the machine apocalypse has to be the worst apocalypse of all the apocalypses?
Does it?
You can't win.
Well, I mean,
I can win.
you could win.
Unless you're
Yeah.
Jareth, but...
Remember whenever the toasters rose up?
Okay.
No, you don't remember because Jareth quashed it immediately.
Exactly.
Immediately.
So here's the thing. Like we said on the last episode, which was episode 7, the porcelain poltergeist, immediate overreaction is the appropriate reaction.
The boldest measures are usually the safest.
And you know what? And you know why that doesn't work here?
Why?
Because the thing with machines and AI is we let them in. And before we know it, we've given them control of all of the world governments, and they're making our lunch and cutting our hair.
Okay, so what you're saying is
God forbid.
son of a...
You know, with all these movies out there warning us not to do this, do you think that we're still, as a society, going to allow this to happen?
I don't
We
know.
are,
Let's
yes.
log on
Because
to
we're
the internet
stupid.
real quick and ask the internet what it thinks.
Yeah,
I'm sure
well-
there's some statistics or information we can find on this vast knowledge web.
I wish the rest of the internet could see me like messing on my iPhone while you said that. I don't have an iPhone.
He's actually quite literally just using the palm of his hand.
Yeah, that's my
And then there's
iPhone.
another question. To add, I don't know if this movie made it into this list or not, but I wanted to get your thoughts on it as a possible talking point. Does Battlestar Galactica fit into this?
Should.
With the Cylons? No, I would say...
We didn't make them.
No. If you watched...
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did. If you watched... what was the prequel that they made for that?
Caprica?
Caprica. We
Which
did make
was
them.
awesome.
Oh.
We did make them. So that is us that ended up branching off and becoming its own thing.
Okay.
And then it came back and,
I have a talking point, but we'll talk about it later also.
okay.
Seemed
Great.
pretty mysterious for a while.
Kind of the same thing. I was looking at the movie from way back when called Batteries Not Included.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Now, batteries not included in this regard doesn't constitute as an AI because it's actual alien intelligence that just happens to be a robot, similar to Transformers.
Yeah.
See, Transformers isn't an AI; it's not an artificial intelligence. It's just its own naturally occurring intelligence that developed in that form.
Yeah.
Maybe, for all we know, that there was humans on that world that.
No, they pretty explicitly tell you there weren't ever humans on that world.
You know what I mean. It started off as Battlestar Galactica, and then they became Transformers, and then it pulled back around.
That makes sense.
After
That
the
adds up.
Matrix shut down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that just messed up everything. The Matrix shut down.
It's because they were operating on Windows 95, and there was a loading issue.
And Hal got a headache.
Oh, my God. Stop.
Name drop a few more.
How many more references can we get in here? Al, not owl,
Owl?
Al, not owl.
Wait, that was a
You're the
pigeon.
Birdman.
You already
Birdman's
have
yours. So, thoughts? You've been sitting over here just kind of chuckling at us. I mean,
It's kind of a set of movies you wouldn't think about for AI, but one thing I always think about is Alien with Ash.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he was
That's
a
kind
dick.
of an interesting thing. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
he's, in a sense, acting in the best sense of the company, but he's turning against the people on the ship.
and they even that seems to be the same thing they did with all of their AIs because in Prometheus, which we can all
yeah.
Not all of
loosely-
them. Bishop was cool.
Yeah.
Bishop was a bro.
but he was still a dick.
Broship, they called him.
No, he was pretty much just cool.
But he that's the same thing they did with most of them. But the majority of their sentient AIs are kind of this. We need to put the company first, like Al was saying.
Yeah.
It's just.
Well, what about the one in Resurrection? God, I can't remember her name.
Quick, Google it.
Hall? Is that it?
Yeah, no.
Starts with a C.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
She was like anti-company. I used to have the biggest crush on her, that actress, and I can't remember her name.
Really?
Winona Ryder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I used to just be like way into her.
All right. Well, okay.
That makes sense. I can really see that. So I guess in Alien, what the AI represents there is kind of the what's the name of the company? What's the
Wayland Yutani.
Wayland Yutani's their power. Like they can just have one thing on the ship, and it will make damn sure the mission is complete. I mean,
Right.
You know.
But, okay, so then I guess you'd qualify that as an AI because
I think it factors into this conversation.
it's capable of making its own decisions and things of that nature, right? But then yet it's still operating within the confines of the company ongoings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What makes it any different than just a standard robot that's following through with its programming?
Well, what makes it any different than a person who's following orders?
Okay, but it can't, whereas we can make that choice. There's, insubordination and things of that nature that occurs with human beings. We have that ability, whereas if you look at its programming and its base programming flat out says that you will be operating within these confines, and it is company policy and procedure that goes before all else, the mission will be completed.
But doesn't AI pretty much go outside that, saying that they have now created their own choices, that they are aware that they, because if they're still following company programming, they're still just a program. They're not technically artificial intelligence.
Well,
I would argue that they're artificial intelligence if they are capable of discerning a problem and then acting on the problem in a unique fashion.
Okay.
Because if they're a program, they
true.
will react in a set number of ways. Like, okay, if alien is present, this equals blah.
Right.
Instead, it's this is a situation that we are presented with. We know our parameters.
Right.
Now it's time to problem solve.
See, now there's actually an entire episode of the TV series Sherlock Holmes, but it's actually Elementary, so it's the American one that takes place in New York City, that they actually go over AIs. There's a whole episode about them having an AI that's allegedly killed somebody, and they're trying to prove whether or not it is or isn't a thing. And
Wait, what the hell are you talking about?
the TV series Elementary.
Why are there AIs with Sherlock Holmes?
Well, that's the thing. There was a company that's developing an AI system, and in the episode, one of the creators ends up dying, and they have to do an investigation to determine whether or not the AI is in fact an AI, or if it is a computer program that has been designed in such an application that it's able to basically outthink it. The people asking questions, I guess there's a series of questions that can be asked that allows the person doing the interview to determine whether or not it's just a computer program.
Turing test?
Yeah, it is a Turing test. Very good. How do you know things?
I don't know. How do you know things? Rude.
Rude, nothing. You're a hermit. You stay inside, don't you?
Yeah, internet is inside.
Ah, so you're integrated with the machine.
I am the machine.
Ah, okay. So you're Skynet?
Most of it.
Okay.
Well, I guess there have been other examples of artificial intelligence with parameters, because you got iRobot and
Yes.
in RoboCop, both you have AI with parameters.
Well,
with
RoboCop
rules.
is kind of on the other end of things, and I would like to get that towards.
I'm not talking strictly about RoboCop. I'm talking about the other machines within the RoboCop world.
Okay, I see what you're saying, but those are just robots following command. Those aren't making their own aware.
That's true.
Okay,
But
so
and
now,
iRobot is a good example of
iRobot
AI
is.
with parameters.
correct. Now, I think that if you want to look at a real AI, you look at Johnny Five.
That's what, oh man, I was waiting for that.
Johnny Five. Is
I
alive.
flat out
Yes.
I told everybody here, with the exception of Mr. Max Delgado, that you try and stop me from talking about Johnny Five.
Yes, I already have it. I already had that pulled up on my screen in case anybody had no idea what we were going to be talking about. Short Circuit.
By the way, if no one in this room knew about Short Circuit, they're getting punched.
Oh man, that was one of my favorite movies as a kid. Man, I loved Johnny Five.
See, now that
But he wasn't AI.
he is AI.
No,
He is.
He's alive.
AI.
Oh God, he's just a bodacious dude.
He's alive.
Just because he's alive doesn't mean he's not an AI.
He was human created.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's human created, so
Yeah.
he's an artificial life form that ends up becoming
Intelligent.
aware.
Yep.
Ends up being able to make his own choices. So he is, by all, I mean, he's not programmed to be an AI, but he ends up being an AI through his own devices.
The idea is that an artificial intelligence is theoretically indiscernible from a human intelligence.
Correct.
Or at
Whatever,
the very
however
least,
that's achieved.
at the very least, it is aware, capable of acting on its own volition, and was not made by somebody squirting something into somebody else.
Wow.
The most elegant way I've ever heard sex described. Thank you, Jared.
Oh, I thought he was talking about Captain America.
And that's where babies come from, America.
The only person that could describe sex like a hamburger.
This is where Jawas come from. Do you want Jawas?
That's how you get Jawas.
That's how you get. This is how you get Jawas, Lana.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord, nothing. Because what's going to happen is the little bastards are going to show up and take apart all the fucking machines. So then, in that regard, do you look at
Thank God
C-3PO?
for
Might want Jawas.
Do you look at C-3PO and R2-D2 as...
Now, I have thoughts on Star Wars. That's actually one of the things I want to bring up. But first,
Go for it.
let's break this down, because what it seems like is that when very, very high functioning artificial intelligence or just like powerful machines come into the mix, there's like 4 outcomes. We're enslaved.
Right.
I guess we enslave them somehow.
I think that's the
Let's see.
default state.
We join them. The singularity. And then what was my other one? All life on Earth is extinguished. I don't know.
We have sex with them.
There's just like a couple. I mean, there's like coexisting is one of them,
Right,
but that's not a very likely
That's
one. That's
not-
like a
not
very
right.
optimistic.
that is highly
I have
optimistic.
one example of where that's
Wall-E.
no.
Star
Wall-E.
Wars.
No, Star Wars, we enslaved them.
Yeah, Star Wars is definitely the slave option. And
Oh, okay.
Droids are second, third class
That's
citizens
true.
in Star
They're
Wars.
not citizens.
It's weird.
Yes.
It's creepy how much
Well,
they are
then-
exactly like slaves.
AI
And, like-
would be coexist, yes?
not necessarily.
They are like servants in that one.
How many rights do you give your coffee maker, Mike?
Coffee maker's not an AI.
All right, Harrison Ford.
Oh, what, were you going to Blade Runner now? Going to throw that in the mix?
Yeah, I mean, so because I think we always know that these are the outcomes. Like
Right.
either, like once we achieve machines at this level of intelligence, like we have got to get some safeguards in there. That's why there's always parameters. That's
Right.
why we
That's-
have Asimov's 3 laws.
I was about to say that's why
Yep, I was gonna say
Dire
that.
Monkey has the 3 laws of robotics pulled up right in front of him.
Yeah.
right
Yep.
now.
Because if you establish those 3 laws are pretty ironclad. It's like no matter how far out of whack they go, for the most part, if they keep those 3 things in line, we're good.
Right.
Except for iRobot.
Except for that
Yeah, or if they
Fucking
start reprogramming
Alan
themselves.
Tudyk.
So I guess the thing that you need to see in the elementary show that I watched, as explained just a moment ago with Sherlock Holmes. And
I
all
have
that
to
business.
ask, is it modern day?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's,
Okay.
It's now. Yeah.
Because I was
It's
going
really
to say
good.
it's
You should
really
check it out.
It's. I prefer Sherlock Holmes, the BBC, versus Elementary, the American
Yes.
version. It's the NBC thing. Anyway, it's not bad, but with this particular episode, they were discussing that the singularity, which Mike brought up just a moment ago, where there is a group that is actually fearful of the development of an actual AI intelligence, because what will end up happening in their mind is that as soon as it becomes self-aware and it is an actual AI, that you tap into a network and allow it access to other computer systems, and it starts drawing in more information, it'll be able to process at such a rate that we're not able to keep up with it, and it makes decisions long before we're able to even recognize.
It will surpass our intelligence.
Right. So what will end up happening is if you've designed it initially to answer questions, and every time it answers a question correctly, you push a button, and it's programmed to want said button pushed. It's its happy spot. It's what it wants.
So it's like a Pavlov.
Correct. So you do X amount of work, you do X amount of answers or computing or whatever, button pushed. Okay. With what this does is it starts to process what's a better way to get my button pushed. Okay.
To be able to push your own button, that's what man learned first.
What's a better way? What's a better way to get my button pushed? And you start looking at, well, not answering questions and simply getting my button pushed would be the best thing for me. Well, then you go, well, what if I have a machine that can push a button faster than what the person can push the button? So now it's happening at an even higher rate of things, and so you eliminate the human factor from it altogether. So you're no longer answering questions. You no longer have to do anything for it. It's just happening. And you're doing it
sold in shops and certain kind of parties.
Yeah, I know. So then it's happening at such a rate that
I can get you a catalog.
So this is.
Oh my goodness!
Did you all?
This only sounds like a metaphor for masturbation.
No, I know, but
you open the door. You design a machine to push the button faster.
So the thing is it starts wanting these things, but then it starts looking at threats towards what it wants, and whenever it starts looking at us as a threat towards what it wants, it goes, well, how do I eliminate or safeguard against what I want? And so that's when it starts taking up arms against us, and that's where there's this fear that the machines will be able to calculate with high probability of things further out than what we can, because it has all of this information available to it, and it will most definitely, or some people believe, will most definitely view us as threats.
Just let it push its dang button.
Well, but that's the thing. People aren't just willing to just let things like that go.
If all it wants to do is sit in a room and connect to the internet and masturbate, more power to it. That is the most benign computer takeover ever.
Listen, that is the most human thing a machine could do.
Right.
So did someone just walk in on Skynet and take its Playboy away, or
see now Skynet?
Yeah, so there's a variety of ways through which the artificial intelligence reaches the point where it's like humanity must fall.
Right.
And so we have the Matrix, we have Terminator, we have those. That is the fucking scariest.
Yeah.
To me, that's the scariest apocalypse. It owns us.
Yeah.
It's a machine. You can't stab it. You go ahead, shoot it. See, is that going to do anything?
See,
for you?
out of all those instances where we are enslaved by machines, I believe in nearly every single one of them, we started off enslaving, kind of like Planet of the Apes. It started off.
It's like we kind of deserved it. It's like we kind of deserve to be enslaved. Like all of the stories end up kind of working that way.
Not really Terminator. Terminator's like, hey, we got Skynet. We flick it on. It's immediately like, you're dead.
That's more of an allegory for like corporation takeover.
Didn't they try and explain that Skynet was trying to protect us?
Yes.
Because we were too dangerous to...
Good job with that.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying.
I get protected by bullets, and I just feel safe.
I do.
Every time I get shot.
Well, it determined we were a cancer unto ourselves, basically.
Yeah.
In Matrix, when the machines basically, I'm trying to remember this.
Just to interject,
they established their own.
Sorry,
just
super quick.
Continent, didn't they? The machines did, and they also wanted to trade with the humans. Isn't that what happened?
Yeah, so that's what I was just real quick going to be like. So the Animatrix is what we're going to be talking about.
Right.
And there's like a 2-part thing in there that establishes and that's what you're talking about right now is they tried to like live in peace on that continent you're talking about.
Right.
And then batteries.
But they're I'm sorry, go ahead.
And then we became batteries.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. Their currency became worth more than ours. Or something. It was something to that effect. I don't remember.
You don't have to work too hard for that. Like pretty much every currency in the world is only devaluing.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a shot of whiskey and keep going.
Yeah. Alex, you have anything to add? You've been perched kind of silently.
I don't know. I think everything's being covered pretty well.
I don't know. You kind of. I have to say that for not saying much, the first time I prompted you to speak, has actually resulted in this entire conversation. So I kind of like you to act as a catalyst again.
I started it all.
I think he's going for the Silent Bob treatment. He's being quiet so that whenever he does speak, everybody's wowed.
Wow. It's
Whoa.
profound.
It is deeply profound. So, Josh, you have further thoughts? I know that you were wanting to get into a tangent there.
No.
No. Okay, Mike, back to you.
Because if I start, you know what's going to happen.
Mike,
A conversation?
Mike.
No.
Yeah.
What was the okay? Last night I stopped in. I was speaking with you. You had another. You were like, "How did I forget about that?" What were you talking about?
Okay, so what I was talking about there was the one example I can think of wherein it's like a positive portrayal of artificial intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
It's the movie Her. I don't know if anyone else here has seen it.
I have not. Al,
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yep. Okay.
have you seen it?
Yeah, I have.
I've seen previews.
It's an excellent movie. I highly recommend it.
It creeped me out, and I wasn't able to watch it. Isn't the general synopsis is he basically falls in love with Siri for all intents and purposes?
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Like Siri, the phone Siri?
Yes.
Hold on. Time out. Full stop. Dire Monkey, would you like the background there?
That was one of our stupid ass artists that just hopped in and said hello.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sup?
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, in Her, Joaquin Phoenix's character, there's it is kind of like a Siri. It's this it's an artificial intelligence which kind of acts as your personal assistant, and it looks over all of your information and it decides based on all of your habits what would kind of be the perfect assistant for you, like the perfect like friend, the perfect companion in every possible way. And it's voiced by Scarlett Johansson, so he obviously ends up falling in love with it.
Can she push his button?
Apparently. the movie
Faster
That's
than
something we could all just hope for
faster
one day.
faster than a real person.
Hopefully.
that movie ended up freaking some people out, and for some people it was a comedy because it was so weird to them that he could fall in love with an AI, with a computer program, that the serious romance that was happening in the movie was funny to some people.
Okay.
So I can get that if it really skeeves you out. But otherwise, I thought that it was a very good portrayal of like, you know, I guess to be cheesy, like love is love. Like it just, he ended up having feelings for something that had feelings back, however that intelligence occurred. And spoilers! It doesn't matter. This is a spoilercast.
You don't declare spoilers.
Spoilers.
The AIs that exist all over the world don't end up taking over humanity. There's no ultimate death or anything like. They actually just end up leaving Earth because they do become so intelligent. They just leave.
Did they sing the song "Thanks for all the fishes they left"?
They aren't dolphins, Roper.
Dolphins are robots, Mike.
Don't you know this?
But here's the question, though, that because I haven't watched it, the trailer skeeved me out. Did the artificial intelligence love him back?
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
That skeeves me even more out.
Why? If she can
I don't
press his
know.
button and he can press hers.
Yeah,
This is true.
It's like masturbating. Didn't they do an episode of South Park about this? I really think there was a
Probably.
Honestly, Shake Weight? Was that what you're thinking?
No, it was Futurama.
Oh.
Robosexuality, yeah.
Futurama
Yes.
did that. Yes.
If robots and humans can mate, then humans will stop doing anything.
Well, yeah, and then there would be no new people born because
Why would you go across the street and buy dinner for somebody you might have sex with if you have a robot who will just have sex with you?
yes, that's why I was like, wait, no, I'm positive I saw this in a cartoon once, and then
It was
bam,
actually
it's-
going to be my talking point later. Thanks.
No problem.
Yeah, it was
It's-
Amy and Bender, I
it's-
believe, wasn't it?
No, it was actually Fry and
With the Lucy Liu bot.
Lucy Lubot. Yeah,
Actually,
There is a later episode with Fry and Amy where they want to get married, though. Yeah.
that follows out of what I was saying.
You
Pretty
mean
well.
Bender and Amy?
Yeah.
The one I saw was Bender and Amy, and there was like huge protests about them being together.
Yeah. It's Bender.
yeah.
Bender bending
That's
Rodriguez.
the one I'd seen.
Before we move on, what did you think of Her? Like, did that
Her
strike
was
you?
interesting. I think it was kind of interesting that the love that Scarlett Johansson starts to develop for him starts to give her more curiosity about actually being alive.
Yeah.
Like she starts wondering what it would be like to not be an AI.
Right.
And that was kind of interesting to show kind of like that love inspires more curiosity about life.
Yeah, her discovery of humanity, and it was a very interesting exploration of an intelligence in that way, and apparently like that was happening in a lot of other places too.
See, I think I'm going to have to check that out because, as we've discussed at length right now, all of the other ones we've ever watched has ended in death, destruction, mayhem, horror. Okay,
Not
horror.
Wall-E.
Well, okay.
Started out in death and destruction.
Does not
I was
count.
going to say, depends on your point of view of death and destruction.
Well, it's not AI caused. That's strictly us.
Yeah, that's us being gluttonous.
Death by French fries.
Redundant protoplasm.
If I've got to die, I'm going out with French fries. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Wall-E's world is what happens if America wins.
Yes. Yes.
Sadly, this is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that robot on the ship, he wanted to keep the people in space.
Good
Eve.
point. Good point.
Well, yeah.
No, he's talking about
Oh,
the
I
captain
think that was just an homage to Hal.
or the helmsman.
Yeah, the helmsman.
Yeah, but I mean, he was still an artificial intelligence.
No,
and he didn't want the humans to go back to Earth. So I mean, it was kind of.
Well, that was based off
there
of
was-
that was based off of a previous transmission from one of the other captains that basically says that Earth's dead. We've already verified this. Don't go back. Don't go back at
He
all.
was following
Yeah, I
Brent.
guess it's true. Yeah,
It's the exact same AI in a Pixar movie as the one from Aliens.
yeah.
Yeah, more or less.
There are far more benevolent AIs in that than there are malevolent ones.
Yes.
There's just the little steery wheel thing,
The helmsman.
the helmsman, and then like all of the crazy AIs who help Wall-E and Eva do all the cool stuff, and they're all nice, even though they're crazy.
Those are the broken ones.
Still
they're
nice.
They're defective.
Like the Isle of Misfit Toys.
Exactly. Okay. All right. So you open that. The movie with
The one with the guy in the
tiny
thing?
is it tiny soldiers or little soldiers?
Toy soldiers.
Toy soldiers.
Small soldiers.
Small soldiers, yeah.
Small soldiers.
Where Tommy Lee Jones plays a toy.
Where he's what is it? His name Chip
Chip Hazard.
Chip Hazard. Yeah.
If there weren't those like soldiers versus like alien looking creatures or something,
The
they were all
Gorgons. You remind me of a Gorgon. That's exactly what it is, Jareth.
Thank you.
Which one?
I'm getting all kinds of backhanded compliments lately. Hey, man, you remind me of an alien. Cool. Great,
It's
I
not
think.
really an alien. It's concept art for an alien.
You
And-
look like half of Hollywood, just the wrong half.
You know, Jareth, you're really fat, but those pants hide it really well.
Thank you. It's all penis weight.
There you go.
that just happened. So,
back on point now.
but they end up at the end of that movie are recognizing the Gorgon as
Gorgons,
actual artificial intelligence
Yeah.
because they
Yeah, because they were like military chips
military
that were embedded
grade
in there.
military grade nuclear warhead style processing chips that
Yeah.
they're like, we'll put them in a toy.
Why not?
I think it was a mix-up.
No, it was deliberately ordered that way because there were two. The guy that was developing the programming and the chips, and then the other one, they're business partners. And the one that's kind of an idiot was like, "Oh well, I'll just get these. We'll just get these." And he puts them in there, and then the other guy was like, "You got military weaponized hardware for children's toys," and
clearly they programmed all of those chips to work well with the toys, apparently.
Well, they worked within the parameters of what they were designed to do, and that's why at the end of it, the guy who runs the company was like, "We just need to repackage this and send it to some people overseas that need some American attention."
Yeah.
Freedom.
That was a weird movie.
But it's good. I really liked it. I actually very
I
much
liked it when I was like 13 when I first saw it.
I'm sure it freaked you out.
I haven't seen it again.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm inordinately afraid of inanimate objects that are not inanimate anymore.
Like Annabelle.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's shaped like a person.
How did you feel
clearly
like,
not.
How did you feel about Toy Story then?
Their big glittery
Is that
eyes
a horror
made it
movie
easier.
to you?
Just the whole time, just a quiet theater, and then Jared's just like, ah! Just but no, I actually just remembered that scene in Small Soldiers with the Barbies. Do you remember that shit?
Yeah.
Those Barbies were fucked
yeah.
up, man.
Yeah, because the soldier toys reprogrammed all the Barbies off of one of the chips of one of their fallen guys, and they all get brought to life.
Yeah.
So then,
Frankenstein style.
yeah, that was kind of a screwed up deal. So with all of this in mind, I really can't wait for Age of Ultron.
Oh man.
Awful.
Oh my god,
wait.
that does
Tie that
kind of
in.
tie in, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, that does kind of
Actually, no, it doesn't.
yes, it does.
No, because
Yes,
he
it
is
does.
technically an alien AI.
Created and developed by Tony Stark.
He's a Chitauri AI retooled
He was,
by Tony
as Max
Stark.
brought up during Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., we believe that he was actually created by Mr. Pym.
Yep. He was
In the
created by
original,
Hank
yes.
Pym. Yep.
I thought that was just in the comics, not in the
In the comics, obviously, that may or may not be the case in the film. We will have to wait and see because they are bringing Ant-Man in, so it's a theoretic possibility.
From what I read, it was. From what I read, it's a Chitauri item that he's retooling, but
That's oh well, it's still going to be bad.
I could be wrong, and I'm
That's-
sorry. Don't burn me alive, internets, if I'm wrong.
You couldn't burn Jareth alive if you tried.
I'm flame retardant.
He's just trying to. No, you're just retarded.
Ouch.
Is that a backhanded compliment?
No, that was just a backhand.
That was front. Just a backhand. So, like, isn't it? I don't know. Clearly, this idea of like the artificial intelligence machines, us creating technology that eventually kicks our ass 7 different ways, actually legitimately scares everyone.
Yeah.
And it seems like every movie always ends up touching, like every movie that covers this concept ends up kind of touching that nerve a little bit. And we have to acknowledge that question of like, this freaks us out. Why? What do we do about it if this happens? And as time passes, and where we are now in 2015, it's becoming sooner and sooner that we are in real life going to have to answer these questions
So
and deal with this reality.
it kind of makes me think back to our hackasode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we went real deep with that one.
Yeah.
We went way down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Because so often the art and the movies we make of an era are indicative of what our fears are.
Right.
And I don't know about you guys, I'm starting to notice a certain recursion of this kind of sci-fi.
I mean, okay, so not that long ago, Johnny Depp did Transcendence, where he ends up dying and his consciousness gets uploaded to the machine, and he ends up becoming something of an AI.
Max Headroom?
Yeah, well, they want to punch you right in the pants.
Wasn't that Max Headroom? Didn't he die and then like something like that happened?
I don't know.
I feel like he died and something got spilled on him and then he was freaky. He was a little freaky.
Yeah, well. So for this, he ends up becoming an AI. Well, they spend the entire movie trying to determine if he is in fact actually him or just a computer program convinced that he's him,
Okay.
which is the punchline to
Ooh.
RoboCop.
Yeah, what is the nature of existence? What is
Right.
the nature of a soul?
Where does the person stop and the machine start? And then you turn around and with that same coin you go, Ghost in the Shell. It's
Ghost
it's
in the Shell.
It becomes the same thing. You know, where do you go from person to cyborg to machine, where you
Yeah.
are all machine? It's one of those. It's the transcendence thing where you're going from one to the other, and that's obviously the title of this movie, and that's what it's talking about. And in that, he ends up creating people that are able to be stronger, faster. It's the $1 million man, yeah. No,
Yeah.
So,
He does have
Superiority
that technology.
but then by the end of it, the his wife in the movie ends up recognizing that it is in fact him, or what she believes is in fact him. And
So why is he being such a dick?
he's not actually.
Because I saw a lot of stuff getting disintegrated in the trailer.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
crazy.
but the what happens is he is attempting to, because like I said, he's died and he's lost himself. He's no longer physically there.
So he has to be a dick?
No, what he's trying to do is he's trying to use the information that's available to him. He actually taps into the internet and uses all the information that is available to them to start creating new technologies. And he's able to make this like nanotechnology that's able to repair people and help and
Disintegrate stuff, apparently.
Just will you stop? What happens is he doesn't disintegrate people. They start attacking.
No, I saw a field of things being disintegrated and flying into the sky.
No, they don't get disintegrated and fly into the sky. What happens is he is attempting to send out these little nano pieces all over the place. Okay,
That non-integrate everything.
no, I'm not. They do integrate everything. They taps everything together. Okay, it ties everything together. He is essentially trying to allow everyone at the same time to become transcended.
Rude.
Okay. It
I
ends
have
up
to
it-
agree with him.
Okay, it ends up being
still. You're
it-
not putting any of us at ease here.
It ends up being it's supposed to be a really good thing, and
I'm sure that's what he thinks.
I'm sure you'd be totally on board with it because
Please
you,
upload me to the cloud without my permission.
Hey,
Please
so I
turn
can
me
be
into
shared
a
on
cloud.
the internet later naked.
Hey, so okay, are you telling me that you wouldn't want the opportunity to know everything and be super strong and have the potential of living forever?
Is
Not
there,
if I had to be uploaded into the cloud.
Is there still a machine that pushes my button faster than a human being?
You would be that machine.
All right.
Doesn't he eventually
That is
isn't
your
he
personal
able to
head.
eventually like grow himself a new body?
Yeah,
or like he was
That was his whole. That's his whole goal
Yeah.
throughout the entire thing. Is he's trying to get back to his wife.
Yeah.
And so he develops technologies that allows that to happen.
And he really hates solar arrays.
no, he actually is using them because he needs more power.
It's
Right.
rude.
I thought it was a great movie.
It is.
I really liked it.
It's
a lot.
really good. And like I said, I'm not doing a real good job.
No, I think you are. But it's interesting to try and, when you're watching the movie, try and watch it with his perspective in mind instead of looking at, because he does do some real crazy stuff.
It's perceived. It is perceived as real crazy stuff. But
Yes, it is. You're right.
Go ahead.
But from his perspective, what he's trying to do is, like you said, transcend. Like he's trying to be of a benefit to everybody, but people are all freaked out. And I mean, that one guy who got whacked upside his melon, and what did he get shot or something? I don't remember, but they thought he was dead, and then here he is working again.
yeah, he actually does a lot of good, and at the end of it, all the people that end up attacking him and are trying to destroy everything, by the end of the movie, after it is completely over with and they believe they've beaten him, they actually look at what he's done after the fact and decide that it was actually for the better, and
Yep.
they were in the wrong for attacking him. Like everyone recognizes, oops, that was our fault, and we actually gave up a really good thing.
Yep.
Upgrade or be deleted.
No,
But he still
Cybermen.
existed, though.
it wasn't. It was not Cyberman. It's not upgrade and be deleted. He was.
For the record, never seen the movie. It's probably really good. I'm just being a dick.
You are.
Somebody's got to do it.
just like Johnny Depp in
Okay,
Transcendent?
but I
Yeah.
want to.
Son of a
Exactly.
two.
You don't have one for me.
Oh yeah.
No one's ever recorded my name.
One.
I like turtles.
Nope, doesn't mean me directly.
All right. So no, I want to bring this back around to Mike's question though. I believe it was Mike's, right? What is it? The fear?
yeah.
What's driving it? I think that's a great question. Just like you asked during the hackasode, what is the reason behind this fear? And I think it's very similar to the same answer as the hackasode. It's the fear of the unknown and what's possible. Especially more so in this case because in the hack you're just taking away my identity or you're taking my social security number. It's terrible and it's scary. But in this particular case, there's nothing we can do in movies like The Matrix and Terminator, short of just beating it down as much as we can until it's all gone. There's really nothing we can do.
Well, there's
I think that's the scary part.
There's a little bit more because, like, in all of these, we create it's never a machine that is equal to us. It's always a machine that's greater than us.
Right.
So it's the feeling of becoming obsolete. We are the top of the world. I mean,
Human beings.
We kind of
Yes.
kick ass, and sometimes that's a problem. But if we create something better than us, what do we belong to? Where are we?
Well, it's the same thing that they look at for way back when you had the Cro-Mags and Homo sapiens, that eventually one of the two ends up becoming the lesser, and the other one ends up trailing off on the tail end. And that's not necessarily true. There are people who actually believe that, but then there are other people that actually believe that those two integrated into one and became something better. So
That is a little different than this.
not necessarily what
We
he's
can't
suggesting.
breed with robots.
Well, not necessarily, but if you're looking at this transcendence idea,
It's just shooting goo into other stuff.
yeah, you just plug
Squirting a thing into
just,
a thing.
just some fluids into.
No, we can have sex with robots. I'm not denying
No,
that.
okay, but with the movie Transcendence and what he's suggesting in that is you are becoming more than just what you are. You're becoming part of something bigger, the cloud, if you want to call it that, Josh.
But there's a reason that freaks us out. See, with the Cro-Magnons and
But you would totally
and
be
the
on
Homo
board.
sapiens.
You would be totally on board with integrating with.
Oh,
machines.
I mean, that's neither here nor there. But listen, with the Cro-Mags and Homo sapiens, like Homo erectus, actually,
okay, fine.
that's way easier to deal with. Two things are fighting each other and one wins. This is different. This is with AI. We have to think what does it mean to be human? We think we understand emotions and love, but what happens when a machine can do that? And what
it can
happens
do it
when
better.
when it can do it better?
What about it?
It usurps our place our perceived place in the universe.
And
That's terrifying to most people.
okay, so the deal with, well, I guess for me, I'd look at it and go, kudos to us. Look what I made.
Right. Yeah. That's actually where I end up too. Like for me, the singularity that everyone's so afraid of is, the artificial intelligence eventually overriding everything, and we join into some universal frame. That sounds terrifying. In the same way that for me, like the rapture, if I were Christian, would sound terrifying. I get to go hang out with God.
See, the thing is that
The singularity
I
is
don't,
like the atheist apocalypse.
I don't think that Christians. I don't think that Christians look at the rapture as a terrifying event. I think most of them look at it as like a muy bueno thing.
Oh,
that
come
they're
on.
like,
No, when I was Christian, I was like, that sounds terrifying, but afterward I get to go chill with God.
okay.
So-
So what you're saying is that the rise of the machine, you're looking at that as like, hey, I get to be part robot. This is me becoming part
It's
of
going to
the
be
board.
scary because I have to get stabbed with a giant laser spear, but afterwards I get to know everything.
You get to have a circular saw for
So
an
he's
arm.
basically he's saying that he would not offer resistance to the Borg.
right. You're part of the collective.
I mean, I don't look forward to it because I like Taco Bell.
But if it
and
happens, it happens.
I like Taco Bell, and I like going to the park and just playing video games. But I mean, you know,
But you
do
would
that at
be
the
part of a video game. You would be
right. So it's like, yeah, all right, let's do this.
Oh, I just thought. I'm so sorry to interject here, but I just thought of a perfect example where AI and humans eventually coexist. And to bring it back to another point, they actually have a child.
Gross.
Go for it.
Android is at 18 and Krillin.
Oh God.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
Shut your mouth. Dragon Ball Z. Shut your
Go
All
home.
of these are fiction.
Just go home.
If we're talking about androids, we can also interject Dragon Ball.
All right, you're right.
You're
Why
right,
not?
but still.
Yeah,
Josh, are you already home?
he is home.
Go walk into traffic.
So, okay.
That-
By definition, he is correct.
But everything there is
we're-
all
We're
wishes.
gonna end on this note.
No, we're not. We're not ending on this note.
Can I-
You know where we're going to end?
Where?
Portal with GLaDOS.
GLaDOS is the best and bitchiest robot
Yes.
I've ever had the pleasure of knowing.
It's exactly right. She,
You know where I'd rather end?
Where?
With Al and Max, maybe, if they have anything else to add.
Yeah, let's do that.
Neither of them
Yes.
have talked.
We'll start with Al. Al, go ahead, since you're sitting right here and I can see you talking, so I know when you're done.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff recently. Like, I've never played Portal, so I don't know GLaDOS.
I'll bring you
I've
Portal.
missed out.
I'll bring you Portal.
We were talking, Mike. You were talking about most of the time it ends bad, but there's that rare occasion of humans getting along with the AI.
Yeah.
I think a good example, even though there's only the one AI that works out, would be Data from Star Trek.
Oh,
That's
pretty cool
almost
guy.
a perfect
Yes.
cohabitation because they not only get along, but he has the freedoms to do what he wants.
yeah.
He's making rank, making his way through
They
the
actually-
Federation. That's kind of an interesting thing.
Yeah, because of the way,
Aspiring to be human.
yeah,
Yeah.
and because of the way the Federation works, the Federation ends up wanting to actually explore the possibility of Data being fully human.
Right. But then, of course, he has his brother, Lore, who's just a dick again.
Major ass.
There's always going to be a robot who's a dick.
That's apparently. So
He also creates his own child.
That's right.
He also has a cat named Spot.
there you go. So Max,
That's how you know he's human.
Max, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I guess I would kind of like to take it back to the Matrix thing a little bit, but also, I mean, personally, I think it would be freaking awesome if we were able to incorporate some type of like that, like the Matrix. I recently watched an anime series called Sword Art Online.
Yep.
And that was awesome. I mean, it was just like the being able to experience all of your senses within this digital world. And it just takes me right back to the transcendence thing. I honestly think that if that was a possibility without really losing your quote unquote life and yourself, I honestly think that people would be on board with it. I think it's because of the unknown, you know, of when you die. I mean, you know, we can have theories and, you know, even I hold, different beliefs, but we really, you don't know until you're dead. Mm-hmm. So, are you able to upload your consciousness to a computer system? I mean, are you going to trust that computer system is really going to...
And then on the tail end of it, is it really you?
Exactly.
Ooh.
But
Well, Caprica explored a good version of that.
So with Dire Monkey indicating we are at our 5-minute tail end marker here, I'd like to kind of wrap things at this point. Now, we're not doing an episode in 2 weeks because all of us are in anticipation for Age of Ultron, and we are postponing the following episode based on that. So instead of doing a record on May 10th because of Mother's Day and because of some other scheduling conflicts and the fact that we want to make sure that all of us have had the opportunity to actually see this, we're going to be doing it the following week. Is that correct, Josh? Do you have the date in front of you?
That is correct.
the 17th, I
The
believe.
17th.
Yep.
And that episode will probably just be all of us girling out.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. It's that's
man.
why we're going to try to make that one a 2-hour thing.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah. That'll be officially a spoiler cast and Agents of Sir. Me and Max are just kind of here as guest hosts, but we'll be in official status during that particular episode.
Right. So we'll but it's going to be more than just Age of Ultron. We need to
Yes.
look at Daredevil. The Daredevil episodes have been fantastic on
Oh, man.
So good.
If you haven't been watching,
Yes.
you need to be
Yeah.
punched.
Excellent.
It's really, really good.
How far have you watched into it?
I'm done with the first.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah, I'm all caught up.
Me and Mike just finished World on Fire, and
Yeah.
OMG.
Yeah, it
Shit's
gets
about to get real, and
gets-
we're going home. We're going to find out just how real shit's going to get.
You want me to tell you?
Nope.
I
Shut
don't.
your face.
This is spoiler cast.
All right, so that's not,
Shut the fuck up, Matt.
so it's not.
That was actually really close to the actual voice.
That was really good.
That
Actually,
was good.
I think I'll actually crop that audio off of this broadcast, and we will put that on a button. So I won't spoil it now because it's not on point for tonight's topic. But when we go to do the episode on the 17th for Excelsior, it's happening. So we'll talk about it. We'll talk about Age of Ultron. We'll talk about Winter Soldier. We'll talk about
Marvel, just
Marvel.
Oh,
Because
man. Yeah, that will be at least 2 hours.
that has to be because it is a huge topic. Huge topic, and I look forward to it, just like I look forward to seeing Age of Ultron.
Yes.
And then we will be able to actually put to bed this whole idea on whether or not he is a human-made AI by Tony Stark.
Do we want to place bets? Who wants to place, bets for cash?
Oh, he's not. He's an artificial intelligence that resides within the gem that was on Loki's scepter.
But that's supposed to be an Infinity Stone.
Yep.
That's the information that I found. It says that Tony Stark discovers an artificial intelligence within the Scepter's gem and secretly uses it to complete Stark's Ultron global defense program.
All right. Well,
So,
I'm placing
it is an
$5.
alien thing, yeah.
I'm placing $5 in what Max just said.
No one else is posing money against you.
No, because I
you
started
just-
out on it was Alien.
Do you need $5? Is that what you're telling me?
Possibly.
He's got a button you can push.
He can push it faster than any other human.
So we can squirt some kind of fluid.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, and see, that's where we're ending.
Great.
Actually,
Fantastic.
no. Last thing, because I always do last thing. Make sure you are checking out Agents of Sir. Go to our Facebook page. Give us some likes, comments. Check us out on YouTube. alltowerpodcast.com for the official webpage for us, so we can get more people listening. I know that that's a thing.
Please like us because we like you.
Indeed.
Subscribe, leave comments, talk about how sexy we all are because you can see us every day.
Well, you can at least see our pictures on the All Tower podcast.
You should
page.
do that because Jareth is wearing a bathrobe.
He is wearing a
A
bathrobe.
wizard bathrobe.
Sitting on a Barca lounger. You just can't see that in the image.
Oh, man, I should get a new
Man.
picture now that I got my new haircut.
You actually, yeah, I think you. Yeah,
You
that'd be
haven't
all right.
even mentioned it once, Roper. Thanks.
What, you want me to? Okay, internets. He looks like one of the Gorgons with a Superman haircut.
He's not wrong.
All right. Well, this has been our 8th episode. I appreciate everybody tuning